Today we're going to be talking about cloud computing. Now, what is cloud computing? But before we go through that, I'm going to walk you through the 5 key areas, what cloud computing actually is, and the 5 essential characteristics that define it, the goals and benefits of using it, the roles of a cloud provider and a cloud consumer, and finally, the roles of cloud auditor, cloud broker, and cloud carrier. Okay. First is, what is cloud computing? So, have you ever purchased like iCloud or like more storage for your Google Drive or like anything that you pay for, like online for storage, but you can't really touch? There's no physical hardware. That is basically the cloud. And cloud computing is a model for delivering these resources, like the servers, the storage, the databases, networking, software, and analytics. It's all over the internet. I mean, instead of owning it and maintaining the actual hardware, you just pay for the software, like anything like on the cloud. So, this is a widely accepted definition that comes from the National Institute of Standards and Technology, or NIST. It defines cloud computing as a model for enabling ubiquitous, convenient, on-demand network access to a shared pool of configurable computing resources that can be rapidly provisioned and released with minimal management efforts or service provider interactions. Now, I could show you my desktop on my phone. Because on my MacBook, I put like everything on my desktop. I have it automatically uploaded to the cloud. So as you can see, I have my LaTeX files, I have my 2026 documents and all that stuff on my phone, which is really convenient. I can access it anywhere. It's really convenient. That's basically the cloud. So, yeah, I don't have to have a physical server or installing in my little room. Like, I don't need that. So basically, I can just rent these computing power from a cloud provider like Apple or like AWS, Microsoft, or Google Cloud. I basically just pay for what I use, and I can scale up or down instantly, and someone else just handles the maintenance, security patches, and hardware upgrades, all that boring stuff. And like, think of it like your utility bill, like water, electricity. You just need to pay for what you use, and you don't need to generate your own electricity. You just use it from a provider. That's basically the cloud. And the cloud computing comes in 3 main service models: the infrastructure as a service. It's like renting raw computing infrastructures like virtual machines and storage. A platform as a service, a ready-made environment for developers to build and deploy applications. Software as a service, like fully functional software delivered over the internet, like Gmail or Netflix. And it can be deployed in a myriad of ways too: public cloud, private cloud, hybrid cloud, and community cloud. Um, it it's something that we can discuss later on, like later on in the next maybe few videos. But I've learned about this in my older units. But anyways, cloud computing is about accessing shared, scalable computing resources on demand over a network. So easy. And let's talk about the 5 essential characteristics of cloud computing. According to NIST or NIST, there are 5 essential characteristics that make a service cloud computing. So, if they're missing any of these, they don't make the cut. And okay, number 1 is on-demand self-service. It means like a consumer can just provision computing resources like server time or storage automatically whenever they need to, without requiring human interaction with a service provider. So like on my phone, like if I want more storage or want more that cloud space, I could just click what I want. Like I want to scale up or scale down. Like that's it. I just have to pay for it. Easy. Um, Basically, very, very convenient. Number two is the broad network access. So cloud resources are available over the network, can be accessed through standard mechanisms like my laptop, my phone, iPad, anything, like anything on like that works, you know, like anything that works on your computer. Anyways, this ensures that the cloud services aren't locked in one specific device or location. You can access your data and applications virtually anywhere with an internet connection. So I could just leave my MacBook at home and I could literally go to the Bahamas and I could still access everything on my desktop, which is really, really, really convenient. And then number three is resource pooling. This providers the providers computing resources are pooled together to serve multiple consumers using what's called the multi-tenant model. Different physical and virtual resources are dynamically assigned and reassigned according to consumer demand. The customer generally has no control or even knowledge of the exact physical location of resources, but they might be able to specify location at a higher level like a country, state, or data center region. So, and then number four, rapid elasticity. This is one of the most powerful features of cloud computing. Resources can be elastically provisioned and released, sometimes automatically, to scale rapidly outward, inward, based on demand. So to the consumer, the resources available often appear unlimited and can be purchased any quantity, anytime. If your website suddenly goes boom, like viral, the cloud can automatically add more server capacity to handle the traffic spike, and when it goes down or like, back to normal, it normalizes it. Number five is measured service. Cloud systems automatically control and optimize resource use by leveraging a metering capability at some level of abstraction appropriate to the type of service. Resource usage can be monitored, controlled, and reported, providing transparency for both provider and the consumer. Like, this is basically the pay-as-you-go thing. Like, it's like what I said earlier, a utility bill. You pay for what you use, like water and any electricity. So, let me talk about goals and the benefits of cloud computing. Well, of course, I'm a big cloud user, so it's very beneficial because first, it's cost effective. I don't have to worry about the hardware. I don't have to pay for all that. And then when I want to scale up, scale down, easy. I don't have to pay too much for like if I were to have hardware, it's gonna be so expensive. Like I don't have to pay for that. I don't have to invest in that when there's cloud. And then there's scalability and flexibility. As I was saying, like resources, like the businesses can scale up or down instantly based on the demand. And this is really good for businesses that are seasonal, like startups or organizations with unpredictable workloads. And speed, agility, of course, new resources can be provisioned in minutes instead of weeks. This dramatically speeds up developing cycles, testing, and time to market in new products and services. And then, of course, global accessibility, which I've tackled earlier about accessing anything with an internet connection on the cloud, which is really convenient. And then reliability and disaster recovery. Okay, most cloud providers often offer redundancy across multiple data centers. If one location fails, your data and applications can continue running elsewhere. This significantly improves business continuity. Focus on core businesses, so like when companies are dealing with law, like they don't have to manage physical servers or cooling systems or any of those hardware stuff. Their own IT staff can focus on more like the innovating and the core business goals instead of infrastructures and maintenance. And then security and compliance. Security is a huge concern, especially now with the digital age. And major cloud providers actually like heavily invest in security expertise, encryption, and compliance certifications, often exceeding what a typical small or medium-sized business could achieve on its own. So thank you for that. My photos and emails are safe. And then, of course, the roles of a cloud provider and a cloud consumer. The cloud provider, like Apple or AWS, Google, all that stuff. The provider organizes or the provider organization or entity responsible for making a service available. They are responsible for deploying and maintaining the physical virtual infrastructures, ensuring service availability, managing security, billing and meter usage, providing service level agreements. And then we have the consumer, me, you, businesses. These consumers like browse catalogs, and then of course request an appropriate service, set up the service contracts with the provider, and then uses the services, of course, and then handles the billing for consumer, all that stuff. And then the cloud auditor, cloud broker, and cloud carrier. What are these people? Who are these people? The cloud auditor is the one that conducts independent assessments of cloud services, information system operations, performance, and security of a cloud implementation. And these people are the ones that evaluate things like security controls, privacy protections, and performance against industry standards. They basically act as like the trusty third party who verifies that cloud provider is actually doing what it claims. You're not getting scammed over here. And then we got the cloud broker. These like as cloud services become more complex, managing multiple cloud providers can become overwhelming for me or for like anyone as a consumer. Like nobody got time for that. Anyways, these brokers, these are the one that manages the uses, performance, and delivery of cloud services and negotiate relationship entities that negotiates relationship between cloud providers and cloud consumers. So they basically they're like three services. Like they do these three things. There's service intermediation, service aggregation, and service arbitrage. This is my second time recording this, and I still cannot pronounce that word. Basically, the first one is improving a given service by enhancing specific capabilities and providing value-added service to customers. And then aggregation is combining multiple services into more new services. And then arbitrage, similar to aggregation, but the broker has the flexibility to choose between service from multiple agencies, offering for more flexible options to the consumer. And lastly, the cloud carrier. This one acts as the intermediary that provides connectivity and transport of cloud services between cloud providers and cloud consumers. In simple terms, this is the network. This is the internet service providers, and none of the roles would matter if the cloud carrier doesn't do its job. Like, there will be no network. And then, basically, to summarize the ecosystem, the provider builds, consumer uses, auditor verifies, broker simplifies, negotiates, and the carrier connects everything together. And then to conclude, to wrap this all up, a quick recap is that what is cloud computing? And the five essentials of the five essential characteristics that define it by NIST. And then on-demand self-service, broad network access, resource pooling, rapid elasticity, and measured services. Key goals and benefits like cost savings, scalability, and reliability. And finally, the five major roles in the cloud ecosystem: provider, consumer, auditor, broker, and carrier. And then understanding these fundamentals is really important, especially now that we are in the digital age. And as an IT major myself, graduating next year, hopefully, it's really important to learn this topic, learn cloud computing itself, because it's everywhere. I use it, you use it, my grandma probably uses it. Anyways, I hope this video is helpful, and just tune in for the next one. See ya.